Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a podcast with Kilian Martin, professional skateboarder. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. So we have, how long do I have you for?
Maybe we can do 1 hour or a little more.
Let's do 6 hours. No, we'll go with one and see how it goes.
Okay.
So you're a professional skateboarder. You have done commercials. You have traveled. But it all starts when you hail from Spain. Is it Madrid?
Yeah, from Madrid.
Okay. How long did you live there for?
Till I was about 19. Then I came to visit 1 year. I went back to Spain, worked, and then came back here when I was about 20 and 21 because I was working on getting visas and all that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came to do a commercial in Venice Beach, and that's where I got a job offer that if I wanted to move here, that I would be able to, get a salary, and they will help me with the paperwork for the visa and all that.
Oh, cool. So you did 20 years there, but you started skating when you were like 10 though, right?
No, I started skating when I was 16. When I was 10, that's when I started surfing.
Okay.
So I started skating pretty late,
Yeah, you usually see, especially someone that reaches the level that you have, you usually see them doing it, since they were like super young. What exactly got you into that? What made you say at 16, you know what, I'm going to try this dangerous sport?
Yeah, no, so I was surfing a lot, and I was super passionate about surfing, but I was living in Madrid, obviously the center of the country, so there's no beach.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, what can I do in the meantime to improve my surfing? At that time, I was like obsessed with surfing, so I was just listening to surfing music, dressing with like Hawaiian shirts and everything, so anything to help my surfing.
I feel you on that. So you started at 16. You obviously did that you got really obsessed with it. How long before you reached the skill level of, I might be able to do something with this? How many years did that take?
Let's see, 16. I think about 3 years when I started to almost every day learn at least like 2 or 3 tricks, and some of them I felt they were very original. Some I didn't know if someone had done them before, so that's when I started to consider, well, maybe if I start, one day I could make a living out of this.
Yeah. And when did you actually turn pro? When was your actual I made it moment?
I guess when I got sponsored by Paul Peralta, it was like my dream, because a huge legendary skate company. They have all the Paul Peralta videos. So I have been sponsored before, and even I had my name on a board with this company called Skate Kings from Orange County, California. But it wasn't until I got sponsored by Paul Peralta where I felt like I really made it.
Okay. And what age were you when that happened, that latter part?
So it was, I was 22.
Okay. So, all right. So only 6 years after you started skating. Wow. How many hours were you skating a day when you were younger?
Well, especially once I moved to LA, I was skating like 6-7 hours a day. and then it get less and less, but especially in the beginning, I was so dedicated.
Yeah.
I still skate a lot, but it's more like in small increments, and I have all planned of what I want to try, what I want to learn. Well, before it was just practice all day.
Yeah. So now there's somebody that commented the other day that he holds the unofficial record for skateboard manual. He did it for 3.68 miles. If you were to attempt to do that, how long do you think it would take to manual 3.68 miles?
It all depends. If it's downhill, it'll go faster.
That's a good one.
So yeah, I'm not sure. I think at some point, because some manuals, it's not about balance anymore. It's about how long can you hold it, as in like your legs get tired,
Yeah, your muscles, lactic acid build up.
So that's the main thing. It's about how long can you hold it, but not in the balance, because once you've mastered it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Okay. So that would, yeah, I forgot to talk about gravity. I forgot to talk about how long it would take. So who are your inspirations growing up, and who are they now, and why have they changed, or how have they changed?
Yeah, so growing up, I always looked at 80s videos of skateboarding and all the Paul Peralta videos, and even the skate movies like Thrashing, Gleaming the Cube. And then so I looked at all those skaters from the 80s and tried to get inspiration from that. So like Rodney Mullen, Kevin Harris, Per Willinder, Pierre Andre, those are like some Don Brown, those are like legends when it comes to freestyle skateboarding.
Yeah.
So yeah, and now mostly I get inspiration from social media because I see all those amazing skaters coming up with ideas.
Kitty. When we talked the other day, oh baby, big tabby. When we talked the other day, you were out walking your dog. So you have a dog and you have a cat. Do you have any other pets?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay. So you really love animals, which I thoroughly enjoy. And you said now that part of what you do for work is like skating with dogs.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So basically, I was during the pandemic. We started getting some side jobs because I wasn't doing as many commercials anymore since we couldn't travel.
Yeah.
And so I put myself on some apps for walking dogs, and my wife the same. And one of them was a little bit like reactive and aggressive towards people. So I always wanted to make sure that I get the dog very well exercised.
Mhm.
And he was pulling like crazy. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start running with this dog and see how if that helps, because it's a struggle trying to get the dog. He's pulling me everywhere. So then one of the days I was like, how about if I try to skate? Let's see what he does, So I did it and he started pulling. But the problem is like he was getting the leash and biting it. So I said, okay, what can I do? So I found one of his toys and then he put it in his mouth while we were skating. And that's how we've been doing it for the last 2.5 years. We're like once or twice a week, the owner tells me, hey, can you go take the dog? And that's what we do. And then I always send him a video. So it's good. It's a
So
fun job.
you have them in like a harness though, right? And it clips to the back instead of the neck.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
the harness. Yeah.
yeah. I remember when I used to live with my friend Mark, he used to have a canal, like a small river in the back of his house, and
Yeah.
we'd get on like a paddle board and we'd hook the harness to this dog Roxy, and she would love to fetch. So we'd throw the ball and she would like dog paddle and move us that way.
That's
So that was
awesome.
really fun. So,
Yeah,
so
I
you
love
mentioned,
doing that. And then with my dog during the pandemic as well. So I got a dog and I like to train him. So in the beginning, he was able to skate and now he can skate a little bit, but the board's too small for him.
gotcha. Did what type of dog?
He's a German Shepherd mix.
Oh yeah, yeah. He needs a big board. It's a big
Yeah.
big boy. Is your dog like bilingual? Do you speak English and
Yeah.
Spanish to him?
Yeah, he speaks English, Spanish, and a little bit of Myanmar.
That's amazing. Does your wife speak Myanmar? Is that why you?
Yeah, we both do speak some Myanmar.
Is she from Spain as well?
She's from Ventura, California.
Okay. So, when did you guys meet? What age were you?
I was 24 and she was 19.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
before we met.
so this was after you had turned pro, after you'd made it, and you were in the States already. And that's when you guys met. What was it like going from, and I don't know, what you were like as a kid, as like a teenager, but going from relatively a normal guy to like, hey, I'm a professional skateboarder. I assume you had like women throwing themselves at your feet like all the time.
Well, not really. Like if I did, I wasn't really paying attention. I was so focused on skating, I didn't really care about a lot of things,
Yeah.
So yeah. So
So
then when I was in Carlsbad, California, I had a nice apartment back when rent was a lot cheaper too.
yeah.
And then so I felt pretty comfortable where I had a pretty good salary where I could afford rent and other things. And I was like, oh, it would be nice to find someone, And I went to Six Flags in Valencia, California, and I went with a friend. And then so my wife was there with some friends, and so that's how we met in line for a roller coaster.
Oh, that's so cool. It happened by chance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so when you moved from Spain to California, what are some of the main differences you saw? What are some things that did you have like culture shock? Like, wow, we really do have Walmarts.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I think the first thing that everyone notices is how big the roads are.
Um,
Um, but the funny thing is, my dream was to move to California because I love all the 80s movies. So I always wanted to be in Venice and in LA, Hollywood. But I happen to have some friends from Southgate, Los Angeles.
mhm.
So, which is a little of a rough area, not as bad as others, but
Yeah.
so when I arrived there, I was like, "What? What is this? That's not what I was picturing," Um, so that was a little bit of a culture shock. I remember I didn't know there were gangs or anything, so I would sometimes wear red, and people it would get me in trouble and all these things. 'Cause I have no
Oh
idea.
no!
And I remember one time I was with my brother because he came to visit, and I was wearing red, and I was like, someone was like, "Why are you wearing that?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. I was from Spain. I have no idea." Because then I realized maybe it was bothering for some reason, but
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, introduction to gangs. That's a big one. Uh, so when you came over and you had that, the first year you was only for like a year, right? And then you went back.
yeah.
Okay. After that year, did you say, "Hey, I'm gonna make this work and I want to move to America," or you thought it was just a one-time thing?
No, so I came to visit, and I still loved it. I got a pretty cool routine, skating and making some money from side jobs and some money from skating. And but my visa was running out, and I was running out of money as well.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I need to go back to Spain. In Spain, I was working as a waiter at a hotel. So basically, I was like, okay, I'll go back, make some more money, and see if there's a way of getting a visa, a working visa. So that's what I did. It's basically before going back to Spain, Brett Novak and I made a video, and that's
Mhm.
one of the first ones, probably the second, but the first one that really went viral. And then because of that video, then I started getting commercials, and through those commercials and those videos, then I got approached by an American company, Paul Peralta, and so they were able to, offer me a job. And once they offered me the job, I was like ready to go.
I bet. So out of the commercials that you've done, I know they span like 10 years or so. Have you ever wanted to go and be like, you know what, I want to try to get like on a TV show, or I want to get like in a movie? Or do you like, it's too much work, I'd rather just do commercials because it allows you time to do everything else?
Yeah, I've always seen it. I'd rather do commercials because it's quick and it's not like months in advance. And
Yeah.
sometimes they've offered me to be in some movies, and when I look at the plot, and I was like, this just doesn't, it's not a good fit for me. I've done
Yeah.
before like stunts, like double as a skater
Yeah.
in a German movie, but yeah, my favorite is commercials.
Okay. That makes sense. I haven't done any commercials. I did a pilot last year, and that'll premiere at some point this year after it gets sold. And then I have hopefully two movies to do this year. So I can't wait for that.
Nice.
I've never done anything like that before, so I'm super excited.
Yeah,
It's
that'll
like
be
it's still
fun.
cool to me. Uh, all right, so you got here permanently. What year was that? That was several years ago, right?
2012.
Okay. So that was at the end of the world. I don't know if you remember those 2012 memes. That was supposed to be the end of the world, like the
Oh,
Mayan
really?
calendar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like, do they have any, I don't know if that's just an American thing or if it was the rest of the world. Were there any like superstitions in Spain? And like, do they have any like lore? Like, oh, there's a monster, or there's
I
what
think
do they have?
other than in 20 the year 2000,
Yeah,
other than in the year 2000, I don't remember any other where people thought that everything was gonna crash,
yeah.
computers were gonna flip, and other than that, I don't remember any other.
I forget what, I think it was 2019. I'm really forgetting what year. How did you feel, I guess, about the situation in America in general when everyone was saying we're going to invade Area 51 and they want to free the aliens?
Oh, really? No, I've never. I've seen some conspiracies before, but I haven't paid much attention to that.
That was the whole thing. The memes for like a whole year were just invading Area 51, and it wasn't free the aliens as much as it was clap them alien cheeks. So they wanted to do like
That's
dirty stuff.
funny.
It was wild.
That's
Uh,
funny.
so you've been here for the better part of over a decade, and you've seen it go from, social media Web 2.0 to now it's going to Web 3.0, and you enjoy Veve and OMI. Is this your first time like doing any type of investing, or do you see it as more like, I'm just collecting and having fun, or have
Yeah,
you been in this world for a while?
that's the first investing I've really done. But yeah, I love Vivi, but I still haven't put any money into OMI because I've always waited to see if they make it easier to buy.
Yeah.
Every time that I've looked into it, it's like, oh, you have to do this. It takes about 3-4 hours. I was like, okay, I'll wait. But yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely see the potential, but I relate more to Vivi because I like collecting. I'm not a huge collector because I see like I collect things and then I put them away, and then it's like, okay, I haven't seen this in like a year or two, and I keep in these valuable things just to keep it. But I like Vivi because you can use it. It's not like just somewhere in the house that you never see it, so it's good.
Yeah. What stuff do you have on there? How many sets, or what's your favorite collectible?
So I have lately, so I started collecting mostly collectibles, but now I have about 410 comics or so, and collectibles probably about 100. And yeah, my favorite that I have, my best one that I have right now is the Miles Morales Ultra Rare.
Nice. That's a really good one.
Yeah, so I really like that one. My favorite that I don't have is the Secret Rare. I think that the animation is incredible on the Miles Morales Secret Rare. So
Yeah. Well, it's like $9,000, so it's really
I
hard to
know.
get. But you have 100 or you have 400 comics, which is nuts. Did you buy like a whole bunch of one? Or are you just like a couple here, a couple there?
Yeah, so I I have some really good ones, and then I have a lot of cheap ones because like to me, I was thinking about this yesterday. Like everyone talks about VVB being gamified,
Mhm.
but to me, sniping is a game. When
Yeah,
you see that $1 comic that there's instant profit, and you're always trying to catch it before someone else. To me, that's a game.
it is fun.
Usually before drops, that's when most people are like, oh, I need one gem to be able to go for this drop, and then you're ready there to snipe
Did,
it. So that's fun
did
for
you
me.
did you go for the drop this morning?
Yeah, and I got nothing.
Oh, that's rough.
The
Yeah, I got lucky. I got a common, but it was a 3 digit. It was like
Oh, wow,
814. So I immediately sold it for 69 gems. I'm gonna come nice envelope with
that's
a 69.
awesome.
Yeah, that was really good. That was fun. There's I was taking a look at a bunch of those, and we'll get a whole bunch of marketing. This year we'll get a whole bunch of people in, but as right now, like I remember looking at I think it was not the AF-15. It was the Journey into Mystery, the first appearance of Thor.
Yeah.
And it was, you've had to have spent $15,000 for the common to double, like just for it to go from like $40 to $80, whatever it was, or to go like 50 cents, and I was, or 50%, and I was like, you could spend much less than that on other things, and you could like triple them yourself. So
Yeah.
I thought it was better to sell that, and even though these are really good comics.
Yeah, I'm having a struggle keeping gems on my account because I see like literally I have my wife's account and mine, and I have like 10 gems in each just for the drops today. So I'll have to sell some things in order to go for the next drop.
Yeah.
So it's hard. There's so many good deals, and then sometimes they're not good deals because then it goes slower.
Yeah, this is a definite buyer's market,
Yeah.
which I love because I'm buying things that so cheap, but also there's only so much money I have left.
Yeah. I'm waiting. I'm looking for the most for MCP because I think that I probably have out of those 400 comics, about 110 are low mints.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm looking forward to, because I think that once people realize they give you more points, that people will try to, that it'll go up in value, all the low mints.
Yeah, I forget which one it was. I think it's the new Marvel Now .1, the first appearance of Kamala Khan. There's this guy, Clever Jerk, that has, I think, 100 3-digit or like two,
Wow.
like he has several hundred like 3-digit mints of that comic, and I was like, oh my god. And he has them like all for sale, and it's just a wall of Clever Jerk. It's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he went nuts. So when so you and a bunch of other people are going to wait until OMI gets on another exchange, whether it's Coinbase, Binance, KuCoin, Kraken, whatever. Be advised that you do know it will be coming to the web app at some point, probably this year, right?
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. And you know that most likely when it gets announced that it's doing that, OMI will probably
It'll
pump
go
a bit.
up. Yeah. I know. Every time I've talked about, like, I'd rather wait. They're like, okay, probably once it gets easier, it's gonna go up. So,
yeah.
Like, I know.
I haven't. I don't have too much on the Veve app. I need to put some on there to stake. Are you, when you get some, are you going to try to stake it, or are you just going to be like, I'm just going to sell it when it goes up?
No, I'll hold it for the long term.
Yeah.
Because I do believe in Veve's potential and how that will help OMI. So I see long term. My goal for Veve right now is that I'm hoping to get a nice, secret rare one time that is worth thousands. So I can just I only put 1,000, and I've done pretty good. But I want to put back. Yeah, I want to put back my initial investment, because then it'll be all profit in a sense, So just waiting a little bit.
To help advertise, would you ever use a Veve board? Like just have a skateboard and have Veve on the bottom?
Well, the thing is, I have a PowerPralt as my sponsor, so
yeah,
I have to ride their boards.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was a commercial, I don't think they would mind, if David you said, hey, do a commercial for me.
that'd be great. Shout out to Z. He's really saying kudos to the extreme sport. Did you ever get in any other? I know you were in surfing, but did you ever do anything? Do you ever do like intense rollerblading or intense scootering?
I did. I've tried rollerblading many years ago before skating, but I got so tired. My legs get so tired rollerblading, because skating you can just jump out,
Yeah. So I mean, this is an extreme sport. I've seen some major wipeouts. What was the worst injury you've had from skateboarding?
Yeah, so it was actually last year in May. So basically, do you know how people drop in ramps with a skateboard? They go down a ramp.
Yeah.
Well, I was learning to do that on a handstand,
Hmm.
and so I was doing it many times. But now I was trying something new. Instead of just going into a handstand, I was trying to do a handstand, hold it up, and then go in. But I think my body weight went backwards, so I fell in my head and my shoulder. So
Oh,
I got my AC joint separated. It
oh,
wasn't too bad, but you know, I couldn't skate for like a month, and then it took some. It's not like 100%, but I can skate normally now.
yeah.
So
Jeez. When did you do that?
so that was last May.
Oh, okay. So it was recent. It was within a year.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
but it's good. Like I can skate. It doesn't hurt. I don't notice it, but yeah, I had to go to the doctor, and it
Oh.
was painful out of nowhere. It was just like, but it's good
When
now.
when you were younger, did your parents ever try to dissuade you from skating? Like that's dangerous. You're gonna break something, or are they like more a little more supportive?
Yeah, they were supportive.
Okay.
Well, especially like once I started winning some competitions, they were like proud of me. And then once I started like making a living skateboarding, then yeah, they've always been supportive. They've always like trusted that I'll make wise decisions and not throw myself out of a cliff.
That's cool. Uh, have you? I know you have Instagram and Facebook. Do you have like a TikTok where you're like, all right, this is what we're doing today, and upload a bunch of your tricks on there?
Yeah, I should upload more on TikTok, but I do have one and I upload sometimes.
Oh, cool. Yeah, those TikTok can blow up pretty easily, especially if you're very good at what you do and have that skill set. Uh, what are some there? I forget what it was, but there's like this competition or this thing every year. I think Tony Hawk just did it last year, where they're like, you come in and you show everyone your new trick, and they do that. Have you invented any new tricks?
It's hard to say because sometimes a new trick they want something completely different, right? But I've done many variations, or I've done several variations that I think they haven't been done before. You can never prove it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I've thought that I've developed or helped develop tricks that have been done before into something a little bit different.
Somebody said in the '90s they could ollie four decks, and it was a huge trick.
Yeah, totally.
In back in the day, there's a cartoon called Rocket Power, and Rocket Power had all these. They were surfboarders, they're skateboarders, they'd play hockey, they'd do whatever. And there was one trick that this guy nailed called the Super McVarial 900. Have you ever done a 900? What was like the craziest trick you ever pulled off?
Well, the 900, it's usually they do it in ramps, in like vert ramps.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's hard to say what's the hardest trick because there's been tricks in some of my videos that they've taken, especially one in my last video that we filmed in Myanmar. It took me about 500 to 600 tries.
oh,
So it took me like almost 6 hours from
oh
the
my
morning
God.
to the midnight. So I guess I would say that that's the hardest because, but it was a combination of one trick with three tricks. So yeah, I mean, I would say that's the
That's
hardest, taking the longest. The
oh
longest.
my God, that's less than a 0.2% success rate. How, oh my God, that's insane.
Well,
And
there's a thing about when we film videos, it's always you want to do your best. So the thing is, always I want to find that balance because if I was to do a trick and it took me 10 tries, that's
yeah,
too easy, right? But if it took me 50 tries, maybe that's still too easy. So what can I add to the trick, to make it better?
Yeah, that's bananas. I mean, in order to become, I think, a professional in anything, you have to kind of ride that line of, hey, is this a little crazy? And then, if it is, then yeah.
Yeah.
Spending 6 hours on that. I mean, I outside of streaming and maybe like playing video games, I don't know if I've ever done anything for 6 hours straight. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have the motivation, and I think sometimes the motivation it's not about like being better than anyone else. It's about, like in our videos, I want to do things that have never been done before, but it's not about make sure that no one else has done it. It's I want to like push myself to do things I've never done before. That I think it's possible. If I can picture it, usually it's possible, even if it takes a long time.
Where does that drive come from to do things that no one else has done before? Is that something that was inculcated in you by your parents, something you were just born with?
No, I think I just like to be creative. And when I see a lot of skateboarders, they do tricks that someone else has done, and I do that too. But my ultimate goal when I do tricks someone else has done is in order to master it and then add a little something to it.
Yeah.
So that's what happens many times. Like 2 weeks ago, I saw a trick that went viral, a skate trick. And then I went to the skate park and I thought maybe that's something I can do. And I did it. And then after that, I was like, okay, I did it, but now what? So I added a little something to it. And then once you do that, then you feel it's been accomplished.
Yeah, it's your own. So the skate parks that I imagine there's a bunch in California that are near you. How big is skating still to like the younger generation? Is it still packed? Is there still a lot of people there?
Well, yes, especially in California, it's like every kid skates, And
imagine.
especially I think since it was in the Olympics, it even gives more exposure to skateboarding, and parents maybe they see their kids skating and like, oh, maybe he can become an Olympian one day.
How hard is that? I mean, there's the professional skating and then there's the Olympic skating. What's the difference in talent between the two? Is it like, most any pro could like get on a team, or is it like, no, you have to specialize in this one thing?
Yeah, you have to specialize in one thing. I was competing until 2010, but you have to be dedicated to competing. It's not like you can just skate and then all of a sudden you show up to a contest and you're like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. You have to have a routine and everything prepared, and you have to have the judges in mind. What do they like? So I thought that was too restrictive for where I was in skating at that time, because I was making all these videos where I could do whatever I want and just try to be creative. But I could take the route, or I could practice 8 hours a day with a routine in mind, very structured, and having the judges likes in mind. So I chose to make videos.
That makes sense. When you're there, I mean, I imagine you don't just go to one skate park. You probably go to a bunch. Have you ever seen anyone that's like, this kid, he's really good, and like, do you ever go to like talk to them and be like, hey, you should do something with that? Or do you just kind of let nature take its course, let it play out?
I let them have fun, because that's the goal of skateboarding,
Yeah.
And so I definitely, when I see someone that is really good, I tell them, because it's always encouraging to them if you tell them that you're really good at what you do. Because that's when I started skating. All the skaters from my hometown, they were always encouraging me, and literally I would go to a site to skate by myself to focus on the tricks, and they would be like, no, skate in front of us, we want to see what you're doing. So I see the potential of encouraging other skaters, and that the skate community in general, all over the world, they're really good about that. You'll see if there's a skater that does a really good trick, everyone's clapping and everyone's congratulating that person,
Because this is your world. Do you get recognized a lot at skate parks?
At skate parks, I do, and in Spain more than here,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, sometimes they recognize me from social media or the videos I've done. So I appreciate it, that I appreciate that they appreciate the work we've put. It's not about being famous or whatever. It's when people appreciate, and I'm happy to usually when they come, I like to help them with some tricks that they're working on,
Yeah. Have you ever thought about opening up a school or opening up like a mentorship program?
Yeah, so I do skate lessons. I started about 2.5 years ago to do skate lessons. So what I do is I teach someone and then I make a video of all the tricks they're learning. It's kids sometimes older. And then after the lesson, I put an edit together to music, and then I send it to the parents or to the person. So they're happy with what they've done and they have a memory of it, And I try to teach them tricks right away. So anyone, even if they've never skated before, in the first lesson, they're not just going to learn to turn and to push. I always teach them tricks right away.
Okay. I don't know what it is with me. If I'm just on my own 2 feet, my balance is pretty good from boxing. But put me on any type of wheel. Put me on a paddle board. My legs shake. I don't know what it is. I cannot do it. I don't even know how to ride a bike. I don't know if I've ever told any of my subscribers about this. Yeah, it's the balance is not there.
No, but it's doable. You just have to I remember in the beginning, I had balance because I was doing gymnastics, but once I got on a skateboard, it was hard as well, But I remember holding onto a wall when I was trying to skate, and so even for someone that doesn't have much balance, I'm sure if you put a skateboard on the grass, you will be able to be on it, right, and not fall. So little by little, you can get used to that.
That's a good point. I never thought of that before. That's a good. Maybe I'll try.
Or rough ground, some roads are extremely rough, so it's way harder to slip away.
Yeah, I'm getting, I'm not 20 anymore, getting a little older, and I am afraid of hurting myself. So
you just have to bend your knees, because that's the problem. Is I remember when I was in Spain doing freestyle by the beach, that some of the people would come by and want to try the skateboard, and a lot of times all these tourists would come. It's like, can I try the skateboard? I was like, yeah, go ahead. And they would go extremely straight, and they would go on it and they go, shoo, and they would fall. But if they were to bend their knees and they try to get on top, even if they were to fall, they could just put their hands on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about that, bending your knees.
Speaking of falling, I know we talk about one of your wipeouts. What was the craziest wipeout that you've ever seen from another person? They're on a vert ramp or they hit a pole. I want the blood and guts story.
No, it's usually the worst I've seen. It's whenever I've seen it twice, where the ankle just it's completely broken, and sometimes I've seen the bone out. So it's happened twice where I've seen that. It's pretty disturbing. When you see it completely broken, that it's no way.
Yeah, Nick Batchelor even says that he used to do bomb hill skating till he snapped his femur, and he just big oof.
Yeah.
I
can see because he's in Hawaii and there's so many hills that you can skate, so I can see that happening.
I would not. I don't think I would do that. Even if I was good at skateboarding, if I was good at something I'm fairly good at boxing. I would not fight Mike Tyson because he'd just break my jaw. It's not going to be fun at that point.
Or your ear. Right?
Yeah. Oh God, not the ear. Man. I think he's over that by now. I think now it's Although if he punches you in the ear, you're toast. But who are some celebrities that you've skated with that like, oh, Chad Musk is cool, or Alyssa Steiner is cool, or have you ever skated with the Hawk?
Yeah, I've skated with Tony Hawk many times because I was living in Carlsbad, and it's pretty close to Vista, and we did well. Basically, when my videos went viral in like 2010, that's when they started to go viral, and he posted many of my videos.
Oh, cool.
And even the commercial I did with Apple. And so one of the times he said if I wanted to do a video for his channel. So we did that, and then I started going sometimes to practice at his ramp.
Sweet.
So it was really cool, and I still remember one time it was so surreal because I was skating at his park, and he was filming me with his phone, and then he posted on social media. But it was so surreal to be skating, to have Tony Hawk filming you on his phone.
Oh, that is so cool. That's pretty dope. So there is and this goes back to kind of collecting a little bit. There is Tom Brady had something called Autograph IO, and he wanted to release his NFTs there. He wanted Tony Hawk, Wayne Gretzky's, like a bunch of amazing things. So obviously Tony Hawk had signed on, but then the whole thing like blew up after FTX collapsed because Sam Bankman-Fried was on the board. So Tony Hawk is open to having NFTs done. Do you think that he would be open to having his NFTs over on Veve?
Yeah, I hope so, because that's what I think I remember I was talking to My Collectibles like a few months ago. And he has a Paul Peralta McGill 80s board, right? I think it's a reissue, but those boards are worth a lot of money. Not the reissues. I mean, they're not very cheap, but the old ones from the 80s, they're very valuable, right? So Tony Hawk has very valuable skateboards.
Yeah.
So I think that it would be amazing. So yeah, maybe if there's a skate park in the Viviverse,
that'd be dope. That'd be great.
He might. So yeah, maybe connecting the Tony Hawk video game and putting it into the Viviverse.
That'd be fun. Did you play those back in the day, or do you like these are too unrealistic? Oh, you did. Okay.
No, I did even before skating.
I played that. I play those all the time. I think obviously the first one's a classic, but I think the fourth one's my favorite because I think in the fourth one on PS2, you could unlock these cool characters. You have Jango Fett. You have these crazy. You have entirely zero gravity. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's fun.
So those are pretty fun. Have you done any of the other skating games? Have you ever played like Skate, or have you played stuff that's a little more realistic?
No, I haven't played that many video games, but yeah, the Tony Hawk Underground 2, I think that was the one that I played the most.
Thug 2, yeah, I remember those. Those are fun. In that course of time, yeah, I never really got into skateboarding, but I played all of the Tony Hawk games because they're still fun. In your opinion, I know you said it's growing. There are a lot more skate parks now, but how do you keep kids interested? What's like the next step for skateboarding? Is it skateboarding like with a GoPro? Is it skateboarding with what would you do if you had all the power in California and you got to organize your own tournament?
No, I think that social media is doing everything because you can show your tricks, and people encourage you that way, right?
Yeah.
So you don't feel anymore that nobody cares. There's so many people that obviously the main focus is you do it for fun.
Yeah.
But when you come up with a trick or you do something amazing in a way, you like people tell you that you did a good job, and then that encourages you to keep going and to do even better tricks. So that's the good thing about social media. Now every trick it's out there, and then that helps for people to keep skating and to keep. It's the same thing with the lessons that I was saying, how after a lesson I make a video, an edit, and then I send it to them. So that video, he sees the tricks that he's done, and now he wants to keep skating and keep making it better. And then now imagine he puts that video in social media, and all his friends are like, "Wow, you're so good job." Then he wants to keep going, and then other kids see that and want to try it.
That's a good idea.
So I think
what is the most impressive trick that you've ever seen that you're like, I didn't know this was possible, or like, and like took your breath away, like a beautiful sight to see?
Yeah, so there's this skater. His name is Matt, and he's like a scientist with a skateboard.
Okay.
Where I'll have to show you his videos, but he like he puts a skateboard and then he puts another skateboard on top and makes all kinds of weird skateboards and creates tricks on a different kind of board.
Okay.
So it's all like he puts weird things on the board, where like a board broken in two where it falls like this.
Yeah.
So now, for example, like he raises the board, flicks one part, and the other does something weird, and then he lands it. So it's all surreal because he makes his own skateboards.
So they're unique because nobody else has those. Oh, that's impressive.
So it's totally you can't even
you can't
completely
replicate
unexpected. Yeah, it's completely unexpected because not only the board is new, you've never seen a board like that, but he makes a trick out of that board.
Oh, that's so wild.
Yeah, I think his name is
really creative.
Matt Tomasello. Matt Tomasello, yeah. He's so good.
I didn't even think of that. Is it true that people have tattoos of you?
Yes, there's a couple, but there was one many years ago of, I think it was a girl from Brazil. She got a tattoo like on her side.
Yeah.
That it was huge.
Is it of your name or of your face?
No, it was of a photo shoot that I did in Paris. That it was like fashion skate kind of shoot, and so yeah, she got it on the side.
So she was a big fan. So I mean, we covered like being recognized before, but I guess we didn't really cover your super fans. So I would consider that one of your super fans. You ever have like any stalkers? Ever have any others like, oh, I don't know about this?
I don't think so. I mean, it's true that sometimes if I just happen to get a lot of messages from the same person over and over and over again in Instagram or something, like in those direct messages, at some point I completely ignore it, because what can you do?
Yeah.
But I always try to like respond to everyone and be nice to everyone.
Yeah, same. It's but you have a lot. You have like 100,000 followers, so you have a lot of people trying to talk to you. So I thank you for coming on this podcast.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
really nice.
No, it's cool because I was seeing your videos, and so because there's not that many content creators, right? So it's good to have some people that put out new information about Veve and a new perspective
every day. And it's it's fun. There's always stuff to talk about, and I think why you don't see a lot of others because most other people have jobs. Most other people like they work a day job, and I don't. So it's
that's good.
Oh, so we have a couple other people, and this brings up a point I want to talk about. Stan says like I'm about to buy a skateboard to see if my 40-year-old knees can still do a kickflip. I'm sure you can, Stan. Obviously, as you get older, things not only do they become harder, but your body doesn't take the hits as well as it used to. Do you ever see do you see an end? Do you see like, well, I'm always going to skate, but I'm not going to do it professionally. I'm not going to do it this way. What's your plan for the future, next 5-10 years?
Yeah, I don't see it that way. It's interesting because I almost always like lie to myself in a sense. Why? Because I'm doing tricks that I've never done when I was like 22.
Yeah.
And even harder and sometimes even more dangerous in a sense that back then. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do those tricks in 10 years, but definitely, as long as I can skate, there's a lot of tricks I can do.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll have to switch to not do a lot of, big stairs and big jumps, but I'll still, with my kind of skating, there's a lot of tricks I can do.
Okay, good. So we'll see you around for the next. We'll keep seeing you around for the next decade or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. There's a couple of other things I wanted to go over as well. We had mentioned before that you are is a girlfriend or are you married?
Married, yeah.
Okay, and do you have kids?
No, we have the dog and the cat.
Do you want to get a little skateboarding crew of kids, or are you happy with the dog and cat?
I'm happy with the dog and cat for now.
My man. Same here.
Just
last
for
girlfriend. Last girlfriend was 1 dog, 3 cats, and a rat. That was
that's awesome.
was good times. I actually remember having I don't know if you could do this on a cruise ship. I remember asking like people like if there was any Disney cruises without kids, and you could just have like all adults.
That's funny.
They have rock climbing on cruise ships. There's definitely no way you can have skateboarding on cruises, right? Because you're on the water.
Maybe. No, I've seen ramps on a boat before, so I think it's possible.
Oh, whoa!
That would be a good idea. You should propose it to one of those whales.
It should.
That would be a good investment.
That'd be. I mean, I feel like the amount of skateboarders that would want to. Well, I mean, everyone wants to go on a cruise. They're fun, but I'm trying to think of how big of an audience that would appeal to. Like skateboarders want to go on a cruise just to see. I guess it could be a tournament, and we could live stream it.
No, that's a good idea.
We can get you and a bunch of people. I'm sure we could do that. We can get you and a bunch of other pros that to just do. I don't know whatever it is, freestyle or just doing new tricks or doing whatever.
Yeah, imagine the videos, right? That would look amazing. You can get a drone flying by and all of a sudden finds a boat.
That'd be great. There's when I went on a cruise last month, and the wildlife, the birds that were several miles away from shore would just like they would kind of float. They would dive bomb into the water.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it just reminds me of a lot of the insurance that would go onto this type of cruise if we were able to do it. To just because I don't know. I feel like there's a chance one of y'all might go overboard just doing a trick and eating yourself over that way. Have you seen anything like that before? Have you seen other people like build their own type of thing for a tournament and it being successful before?
No. I've seen there was a ramp in a boat, a very small one, and it went viral because it was in a very beautiful place in the water. And I remember a pro skater called Bob Burnquist. He did that, but I don't know if it was just for a commercial or for something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it went viral, so it would probably be successful.
So we've talked about a bunch of the dangerous stuff that you got injured about other people. What are the dangerous stunts you've done that you've been fine? Like, yeah, I jumped off like a 12-story roof and it was perfect.
Well, there's this one trick that I have in my Instagram where I'm doing a handstand flip, so you're in your hands, you flip in the board, then you land on your feet. But I was doing it out of a huge drop.
Okay.
So basically that's scary because you're on your hands off a drop, and anything can happen.
Yeah.
So I did fell a few times, but it was never bad. So it's scary, but it worked out.
Yeah, thank God. Have you tried Chat GPT, the AI stuff?
No.
It's like almost like Google, but it's like a robot. You ask it a question and it'll give you this insane detailed response, and it'll take from Google, it'll take like the corpus, the whole English language. I was wondering if you could use AI to be like, hey, AI, describe to me a skateboard trick that's never been done before. I don't know if that would be.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible because how would they know if someone hasn't done it before? Unless it can compile every video ever done, but maybe someone but what I could probably do is find the most liked Instagram or TikTok skateboard clips,
Yeah.
because otherwise I wouldn't know that it's never been done unless there's NBD hashtag and it goes through all those hashtags.
So I just asked it. I said, describe to me a skateboard trick that's never been done before. And the first was this like, well, it's hard because there are new tricks constantly being invented. But they say, however, one idea for a unique trick could be a combination of a grind on the rails of the skateboard and a flip trick, such as a front flip or a back flip, while maintaining the grind throughout the flip. Is that possible?
Yes, it's possible.
So it's possible to grind on the skateboard while doing a front flip or a back flip while maintaining the grind. Well,
yes, that would be a never been done trick, right? So
yeah, I guess
if it was on a regular ledge, that wouldn't work because when you jump, the skateboard will fall sideways, right?
Yeah.
In order for it to happen, it would have to be a perfectly measured rail that is square, so the tracks go perfectly on it, completely locked, and then jumping straight up, perfection, and then landing right on it without losing speed. So yeah,
I this seems so dangerous.
I wouldn't try it.
I wouldn't either. But yeah, I love ChatGPT because you could ask it anything and it'll give you insane answers. It's wild.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we've gone for about an hour, and I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. To end it, we'll say like when you do get OMI, and then it does go to the moon, when you make a lot of money, would you buy your own skate park, or would you just buy one of those awesome boards that we talked before that Tony has, or would you? I don't know. What would you do?
I'll probably save it.
Okay, smart.
I'll probably save it because I like the security, but relative security always. But yeah, I am building a house in Costa Rica, so it could be cool to make a little skate park.
That'd be dope. Yeah.
In the back.
That'd be awesome. So you don't. Well, when you said you were younger, you were really more just focused on skating and not really anything else. So you didn't really party a ton when you were younger, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay. What about now? Party now?
No, but okay. we do get together. Like we just had a gathering at our place last weekend.
Yeah.
Where we had a bunch of people and it was a lot of fun.
I was saying, like, when you do build that place in Costa Rica, at some point I'll come down. I'll bring the beer. I'll bring whatever you want. Just teach me how to not fall on my face, and then we'll call it even.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. Cool, beans. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'll talk to you off camera for a minute after we end the broadcast. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you all. Thanks for joining. Subscribe. Bye, guys.